Hey everybody, so the new Kindle Scribe Color Soft was announced today, and it has a lot of exciting changes coming to it from a hardware and a software standpoint, and some things in there that you might have missed in the announcement if you weren't paying attention. Some things they just didn't cover, it's in the fine print. So we're going to go over all those details real quick in just a moment. First, if you would, take a moment and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see here so we can continue to make more content like this. It's very much appreciated and helps us to continue to produce videos like we're doing today. All right, so we'll start off by taking a look at the prices on the device. So they released 3 devices today, or at least they announced 3 devices today. So we've got the Kindle Scribe Color Soft, we've got a Kindle Scribe without front light, and then we've got a Kindle Scribe with front light. So both of these are black and white devices. Without the front light, it runs $429, and it looks like you can get this in only one configuration, and that is 16 gigabyte. So the with front light comes in either 32 gigabyte or 64 gigabyte for $499 or $549. And so the Color Soft comes in 2 different configurations, actually 4 if you want to count the colors. But you got a 32 gigabyte version that's $629 and a 64 gigabyte version that's $679. They come in graphite or in what they call in fig, which I think is a pretty cool looking color. The pen matches it and everything. So, and of course they say up here it's coming soon. So let's look at some of the features here that I wanted to share with you. So first off, it's got a new screen on it. It's 11-inch screen instead of the 10.3 that it was prior. It's very thin, 5.4 millimeters thin. This is a significant change. They no longer have the bar on the side of the device like they used to, where a lot of the components used to live in the device. Now the components are fitted behind the screen, and so you certainly get some much smaller bezels. And you don't have that huge, I call it chin or whatever over on the left side that they had before. So significant change there. It still looks like they're using Kaleido 3, which is a 300 ppi black and white with a 150 ppi color filter that lays above that. So it will not be as crisp as a black and white screen, but it's certainly acceptable. And if you saw their Color Soft Kindle, the regular e-reader, they did a really good job with the colors, and I think they optimized Kaleido 3 in some way. It certainly looked very good for what they did. So I have high hopes for what this screen is going to look like as well. So here they say, think it, ink it in color. They mentioned the fact that they have a battery-free pen that could be a swipe at Remarkable Paper Pro because they use the active stylus that must be charged on the side of the device. Looks like they take another swipe at Remarkable here. They say, writing feel like real ink on paper with no distracting flashes. You know, the Remarkable Paper Pro uses Gallery 3 instead of Kaleido 3. And when you write in color or highlight in color or view any kind of a color document, you do get that flashing, that initial flashing until the ink settles and you get the final color image that you're going to see. So they are, making a big deal out of that. No distracting flashes. So they also mentioned that they've got 10 pen colors, as you can see here, 5 highlighter colors. I saw where a user on Reddit had mentioned that this screen is a little bit misleading because the colors are not that vibrant in real life. And certainly we know that a Kaleido 3 screen is going to be, more of a newspaper type look. It's not going to be as vibrant as this, but I do think that Kindle or Amazon has done some things with the Kaleido 3 to make it maybe pop a little bit more than a typical Kaleido 3 screen will. So look forward to seeing what that looks like. So here they're talking about some of the upgrades that they've done, all the freedom of paper, plus a few things I'll talk about here. So they've got new templates that are available. That is a very welcomed addition to the device. I think that the templates that were available on the previous versions were very limited. I don't know if this is a template that they're going to, have on the device, but I would imagine that it is. It's encouraging to see that they are, focusing more on templates. They now have search, handwriting search. You can actually go in and search any of your notebooks and it'll find your handwriting. Don't know what the speed on that looks like. I look forward to getting one of these and testing that out and see if that's a fairly rapid search or if it takes a long amount of time. And then, of course, they talk about editing tools and endless pages that grow with your ideas. So AI tools are interesting. So they've had, it says use AI to search, We just spoke about that to refine the current Kindle Scribes, both the 2022 and the 2024. Do have the AI refine feature and the summarize your notebooks feature. But something new here is that you can have a chat with your AI built into this to uncover insights about your notebook. So I was reading a little bit of details on this in the fine print. It says that you have to have a minimum of 2 notebooks, and each of those notebooks have to have minimum of 2 pages. And those pages must contain I guess, material that is relative to what you're chatting about in order for it to return any kind of reliable results. It says that the more notebooks that you have, with the more pages that you have, the better the results are going to be when you begin to chat with the AI. So very interesting. I look forward to trying that out as well. And then turn messy handwriting into clear, legible text. I did a video on this previously, comparing some e-ink devices, and the Kindle did really, really well on converting your handwriting into something that was better or easier to read, as you can see on the screen there. That was something that they excel at already. So look forward to seeing if they have improved on that, or if it just remains the already well executed version that was in there before. Talked about the note search. So search your handwritten notes to find exactly what you need. As you can see, they are doing a handwritten note search, and it brings back the different documents that it finds that in. And then I like that it highlights what you search for, that so you can quickly see your results in the pages that it brings up. So that's a very welcome addition to it as well, as you can see how many times that particular word showed up on that document. So another very interesting feature that they've got is that they're integrating with Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive. So you can import documents directly from one of these third-party services. You can annotate PDFs, you can mark them up and send them back to those devices. I think that's incredibly intriguing. It brings them on par with some other devices that already do that. It's also interesting that on Word documents, they say that Active Canvas will work on Word documents. And basically, as you see in the screenshot here, Active Canvas is you can have a document full of text or an ebook full of text, and you can just begin writing anywhere on the page, and Active Canvas will open up an appropriately sized rectangle or square on the page and move the text around to flow around that. You see that this rectangle goes the full width of the page. You don't have to make it go the full width of the page. If you're not going to write that long, you can click on it. It will have handles that you can make that shrink. And and then the text will flow around it on the right side or the left side, whichever way that you're shrinking or growing that thing. So Active Canvas is a very, very cool feature that only the Kindle Scribe has. Similar to Active Canvas, they also have the ability to write in the margins. And you can see here, it looks like that this may be a PDF file or maybe an ebook, but you can see that they've already used Active Canvas here, and they've opened up a handwriting session here. It flowed the text around that. But then you can also open up by clicking here. This will be hidden off the side of the page. You can click on that, and then you can write in the margins here, and then you can also hide it again. You can close it, using the X button there, but you can write in the margins, and it saves that on that particular page of that book or that document, and I think that's really, really cool. And only Kindle is using it in this type of an implementation. Other devices allow you to write in the margin. I know Remarkable, you can just swipe over and write in the margins that way, but I like the way that this is implemented. So one of the things that I said was just kind of hidden, but it's an intriguing feature that they mention here. So it says, keep track, highlight, underline, and annotate your favorite books to keep your thoughts organized and easy to revisit. And then this note here says, filter notes and highlights by color so that you can quickly find what matters most. I interpret that, and tell me in the comments if you think that I'm reading this wrong, but if it says filter notes and highlights by color, if you have an organizational system based on colors, for example, all green highlights are related to a particular, subject or whatever the case may be, or category, and, orange highlights or a different one. I'm assuming based on this that you can filter your notes and go and say, show me all my orange highlights or all my green highlights. And if so, that brings a whole level of organization that I don't think that's available on any other device right now. So there's several things in this screenshot that I want to show you that's very interesting. So first of all, they talk about cloud storage. It's securely backed up. They talk about data encryption on the Amazon servers, secure passcode. Here is something very interesting where it says tamper resistant. So it says only authorized software can run, protecting against tampering. Now, I may be stretching a little bit in reading between the lines here, but it says only authorized software can run. Currently, you cannot install any software on a Kindle Scribe. So, this leads me to believe that they may be planning to launch an app store to go along with the Kindle Scribe, which is very intriguing. I may be the first one to say this. I haven't seen every video out there today that's on the Kindle Scribe, but maybe this is a harbinger of of an app store that's coming. So we'll have to wait and see on that. The other thing is down here at the bottom. It says to buy 5 or more devices from Amazon a business account. Sign in here. Then it says for questions about deploying Kindle Scribe for your organization, contact our sales team here. So with the data encryption, the secure passcode, are they going to make this a legitimate enterprise device? We'll have to wait and see how that works once they get it launched. So something else to keep an eye on, just kind of buried down here in the print. So something else interesting that it was not in the on the web page that I was showing you just then, but they've got something new that's called Workspaces, and as you can see, this is the 2024 version of the Kindle Scribe, the latest one that's available in the jade color with the pin that goes with it, and so on and so forth. Currently they have 4 tabs down at the bottom, or 4 options at the bottom: home, library, notebooks, and more. And then your latest document in the middle. So they said something about workspaces. The indication was that workspaces, currently I'll show you, like in your library, let me take off this filter. Your library is where your books are, your ebooks, all of your documents such as PDF documents and those types of things. It lives in your library. Notebooks are where your handwritten notes live. And one of my frustrations with a Kindle Scribe is that those two don't mix. You can't file them together. I would love to import a PDF and have it in the same notebook that's a categorization of something similar for some handwritten notes that I've done, but they don't currently allow that. But in Workspaces, it looks like they will allow that. So they're saying that you can, and I may be stretching here on this as well, but they're saying that they live in one spot and you can put them in folders. So otherwise a PDF can live side by side with a handwritten note. And if that's the case, that's a massive move forward for Kindle from an organizational standpoint, and being able to fit better into like my workflow. For example, I use a lot of PDFs. I annotate, or I use a lot of PDF templates. And I would love for them to, live in my notebooks, or at least, in a folder system that I can create, rather than just coming over here and being able to filter to certain types of items. So I look forward to that. If that is truly what they're doing, I think that's a huge step forward for Kindle. So very interesting updates, both from a hardware and a software standpoint. I'm really looking forward to this. They really didn't say when it was going to be available, except for sometime later this year. I did, and you can do this as well. You can sign up on the Amazon website to be notified when the device is available to order. I certainly did that, and once it is available, I'll be ordering one, and I'll come on here and give you an initial impressions and then some progressions as I begin to use the device and integrate it into my workflow as to what that looks like. So anyway, hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you like some of the intriguing nuggets that were kind of hidden in there. And, if you have a different interpretation on any of those things, or you want to leave any kind of a comment, feel free to do that in the comment section. I try to answer every comment, every question that comes in, and I'll continue to do that until hopefully the channel gets so big that I'm unable to, and I'll find some way to do it even at that point, because I love interacting with the viewers. Anyway, so thanks for watching. If you would, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.